What's up, everybody? I think we're going to record till the battery dies on this thing. I don't know how soon that'll be, but hopefully we get through what we need to be through. So I know I've been doing videos on the 83 Shadow Saber. Sabre 750 VF750S. So let's talk about this bike. If I didn't do a spec video for you guys on this one, I will, and I want to get some feedback from you guys on this bike because I've just been yakking at you. So let's keep in mind that this bike is 40 years old. This is an 83, and I'm no mathematician, but good, it's starting to rain. That'll make my trip a little fun. Let's just assume that it's a little bit of drips here and there. Not supposed to rain for another 45 minutes. Yeah. So hopefully we ride out of it. I want to get your feedback on this bike because honestly, I haven't gotten to ride this 750. Now I have the 1100 too. And I'll be honest, the Sabers get a bad rap. A lot of times, they, I mean, okay, we're talking about a 40-year-old bike, so it's not going to keep up with the super sports and everything, but think about it, at the time, in 83, you had, your fast bikes were standard motorcycles. They weren't the Gixxers and the CBRs and all that stuff, so it's not really fair to compare this to modern day bikes, especially like what? I don't even know what year the Z1000 came out, but you know, anyway, what I'm trying to say is this thing gets kind of a bad rap. Good, the rain's not, I think I'm out of it, because you see that? At 7,000 RPMs, this thing jumps. But what I'm trying to say is, it gets a bad rap because people discount it, and I've had people tell me so many times, I'm like, dude, the bike's fast. And it's a V4 with 80 horsepower. And I'm not saying it's super fast or like, it's not lighted by any means, but it can pull its own weight. And it's fun. The fun factor and the comfort level of this bike outweigh any super sport. I don't think I could beat, I mean, I'm getting old. I am 40 years old too. I was only born 2 years earlier than this bike. So, I don't think I could spend an entire day on a sport bike. And I'll be trying it at one point. Like, I'll be getting some of the Katanas and the CBR, and I think I have a ZX6R to get fixed up. But I couldn't spend a whole day on it. This thing is peppy, and you can jump into 5th, 6th gear. Now, 5th gear, overdrive is 6th. You can jump into 5th gear when you are up to like 40 miles per hour and ride all day that way. Like, that's why I was telling you in the other video that this thing probably wasn't ridden much over 5,000 RPMs. Literally, the RPM gauge was stuck. Like, if I tried to go up there, it would stop there, and I didn't know what was going on. And after riding it for, I don't know, a couple days, it finally freed back up, and now it gives me the full range. It was the weirdest thing I've ever seen on a bike that I just bought. I don't know. Like I said, it probably never went past 5. So, it was funny, but anyway, this isn't the best handling motorcycle. Again, 40 years old. But it's smooth. The engine is rock solid. You're looking at Honda dependability. Like, this thing not only has survived 40 years old, or 40 years, but I mean, it has its issues, it has its little kinks, but even the warning system, everything still works. And unlike the 750 Maxim I have, it has warning lights all over because they set it up differently. They set it up, you had to have a probe in the battery to know the battery life, and I'm not buying batteries just to put a probe in them, and I don't even think the wiring harness has the probe anymore. Long story short, what I'm saying is this bike has survived and thrived. And actually, here, look, 26,000 miles. I wasn't sure if that was 29 or 25, and I went over 26, so now you know. 26,059. So I'm putting the miles on this baby. Now I'm down to half a tank of gas, and this does have a fuel petcock on it that you can switch to reserve. So if you're not watching your fuel gauge and you do run out of fuel, you still have reserve. You can flip it over, which is kind of nice to have both. The big Saber doesn't have fuel petcock you can switch. It just has fuel gauge, and not sure if I ever ran out of gas on that, but you don't get the extra peace of mind when you do run out. You're just out on the big Saber. So anyway, great visibility with these mirrors. I don't know if they're factory excuse me, factory, but they could be, and I can see very well behind me. Visibility ahead is obviously fine, there's nothing in the way, and as I said, you can tuck in behind and get a little bit of wind protection from this gauge cluster, and I guess that's kind of what they were going for. I don't know, it's kind of a weird design, but it works, guys. It works, and it's just really comfortable. I'm 5'5", and as I said before, I'm not flat-footed. I think I have a stock seat on here, and I'm not flat-footed when I put my feet down, but when I have a passenger, I am. A little bit extra weight on this bike, and I can easily flat-foot it. But at this point, both my feet touch on both sides, and I don't have any worries about that. And there was something else I was going to say about the height thing. Let's see, feet down, yeah, that's fine. Oh, as far as where my legs are sitting, they're on the foot pegs, and they're not super, they're bent, but it's comfortable. You can see, yeah, basically straight down from where my hips are is where my feet sit. So perfectly good. And by the way, I've been in overdrive this whole time, and she will pick up in overdrive. Not great, but she gradually, I'm not pegging it. I don't need to do that without shifting. But really, guys, if you haven't ridden a Saber and you're into the older 80s bikes, it's not a bad one to look at. Most of them go cheap because they're not the prettiest thing in the world. And as I said, most people aren't out looking for them, and they just sit on the market until somebody offers what the seller's willing to take. And again, it doesn't take a lot to get these running. I bought mine running. I had to fix a few little things along the way. Header pipes rusted out, fuel filter needed replaced. I don't know if I've done much more than that. I hope. I don't even think I've done hydraulic fluids in the brakes and the clutch, which that will wear out, so I will have to look at that at some point. But I rode this bike home, and I really haven't done much to it. New battery, I believe, because I stole the old one, and that just happens. It doesn't handle the best. You got to be on your toes, but you can push it pretty good, and it's fun. So what else do you want to know about it? Let me know what any taller riders feel about the position on this bike. Obviously, you guys are going to be able to touch, so that's no big deal. But it's fun. Let's see if I can get some air on this little bump. Oh, front wheel off the ground. That was fun. Yeah, that was good. And I'm only in 4th gear. Didn't take a ton. So, you know, Watch your cinders on the road. I don't know what all's been washed off yet. It's still early in the season, but have a blast on this bike. And so far so good. It's been reliable. And that's all that matters, right? Fun, reliability, you get to where you need to go. And guys, you can run an antique tag in most states. But just a note on that, if you're running an antique tag, make sure you're taken care of. You should still have it looked at by someone that knows what they're doing. I take care of my bikes, and every once in a while I do like to have them looked at by someone more professional than me. Even though I can make all the repairs, I don't want to miss something, and I'd prefer not to put myself in harm's way, or anybody else if they're a passenger. So anyway, that's probably enough yakking today. That was a fun little ride. I got another 15 minutes to go, but she's a very dependable, happy bike, and I'll do other videos on her, of course. I'm thinking about selling her just because of all the projects. There's something else new in the stable that you're gonna see in a couple days, so subscribe to see that. But I'll see you guys on the next one. Get out and ride. Oh, something reeks. They're spreading manure on the fields to help growth, and yeah, you get the Lancaster County smells. So I'll see you guys on the next one. Happy riding. Get out, ride.